All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Flip Texas podcast. I am super excited to be with my close friend and broker of Texas Realty IO, Conor Watkins. How are you this morning, Conor? What is going on? I know you just got back from Mexico. You're traveling all over the world. I don't know, if you're 20, 26 or so agents, right?
We're at 31 now, actually.
Oh, I don't know if the 31 agents, if they went with you to Mexico or they're back here or they're working half and half or what's going on. But how are you, man?
Great. Pleasure to be on the show, right? Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Mexico was great. Needed a much needed vacation. All I really do is post about work and, meetings and typical stuff, but it's good to get away every so often. And I always advise my team to, take a break, don't get burnt out, because it's very common in this industry when all you do is work and you're chasing the next deal and you never really take the time to slow down and reevaluate, So I think that's something that I learned, when it comes to traveling is just use the time to take a step back and soak it all in,
Excellent. Okay, so you're saying that helps with the longevity in business, like to not get burned out, or?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's more to life than just closing real estate deals and obviously make money, but also you want to have fun too, It's
Okay.
part of life.
Okay, yeah, that's something really cool that we won't get into it too far. I'm gonna kind of rewind the clocks back, but that is something really cool that I see like with you and your team is that y'all like to work hard, but y'all also like to have a lot of fun as well. And I think that's really cool to have a balance of work hard, play hard. So that's pretty awesome.
Big on the culture.
So let's rewind the clocks back. So in case anyone doesn't know, Connor is my close friend here, and he got me into real estate just over 4 years ago, and it was a Wolf of Wall Street story. He was like, show me you made $50,000 last month, and I'll quit my job right now, and I'll come work with you. So I went to work with Connor, and that is how I got my foot in the door in real estate. So and I know a lot of things have changed, but can you give us an insight of what was it like when you first got started in real estate, and why the heck did you what made you go into real estate, and how was it getting started? Because I know things are really different now with the big team and everything, but how was it when you got started working with yourself as a single agent?
Yeah, so a lot of you may know us already. If you don't, this is all new news. I started right when I was 18 years old. So I was in real estate, literally got my license. I think maybe I went to a community college for 6 months, didn't work out. I was like, you know what, I'm good with sales. I know what I want to do. And sure enough, got my license. From there, I was on the hunt for the right brokerage, right? So when you get into real estate, especially experienced people out there, they know this. A lot of it is yourself and self-discipline and what you have to bring to the table, but the other part of it is finding the right brokerage with the right guidance, right? So and I'm just going to speak generally for, traditional agents. Most traditional agents, they usually start in the residential. Hey, we're going to give you some business cards. We're going to give you a website. Show up to our weekly trainings at our office. We may give you a lead here and there, but we're basically going to teach you a referral-based business, right? That's what most big, common brokerages do. Well, I didn't want to be like that, like the rest of them, right? So my whole theory was, observe the masses and do the opposite, right? See what is everyone else doing versus what are, maybe it's not basically the best option, right? So this was before Ben got into real estate. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to get my real estate license. I think we were actually sitting on the couch one night together. This was 7 years ago. And I was like, you know what, Ben, I'm just going to get my real estate license. I had no friends or family in real estate. I just you know what, I got nothing to lose. So sure enough, I find this brokerage, and I interviewed with 3 or 4 different brokers, but I find this brokerage on, I think it was like Craigslist, right?
I think it was Craigslist, yeah.
It was Craigslist ad, and it was kind of like a cheesy ad. It was like,
Work in
hey,
your pajamas.
yeah, like it was like almost too good to be true, really. Which is why I interviewed with them. Work in your pajamas, close deals from home. We're going to give you as many leads as you want for free, this and that. And it was actually apartment locating brokerage. So, they just did apartment locating. Now, I'm not going to mention the company or go too much into detail, but this was a pretty big company. They had, I think, close to 70, 80 agents at the time, operating in all Texas markets, leasing people virtually. So I got started day one, apartment locating, which is basically like the easiest barrier of entry when it comes to real estate, right? You don't need to have any market knowledge or nothing. You can just pick up the phone and start dialing, right? So, which is great. I mean, I became a sales master. All of it was text, calls, and emails, and I was closing 20, 30 leases a month consistently within my first year of real estate, most of which were company leads, and then we can kind of talk later on how I figured out to generate my own leads and stuff. But yeah, that's how I got into it, and then I think maybe 3 or 4 months into it, I showed Ben the numbers. I was like, hey, Ben, like, this is what I did my first few months, and I can't remember how much it was, but it was like maybe 60,000 or something. I don't know, gross commissions.
Yeah.
And it was enough for him to quit his job and say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to get my real estate license too. So that's basically how I got into it.
What made you be in those top? You were always in, say, the top 3 agents in the company. What do you think? Because I looked at and everybody was like, well, if Conor can do it, I can do it, because Conor's not he's not Albert Einstein smart or something like that. If you know what I mean.
Definitely.
And there were certain things you did, but what do you think? What do you think puts agents in that top 3 in their office, as opposed to the agents that it's just their, I don't know what's going on, John. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of agents that are lost, especially nowadays. I mean, the industry's kind of crazy right now. Back in 2016, 2017, I feel like there was slightly more opportunity, more room for growth. Apartment locating industry wasn't as well known back then. But basically how I got, top 3 agents in the company, and I was actually the youngest in the company. I think I was 18 or 19 years old, which ended up, a whole nother story goes after that, a lot of envy and stuff in the company. But basically, we have a close friend. His name is actually Ben as well.
Oh yeah, we went to his office, and it was another Wolf of Wall Street's moment, and they were like, this guy is only this old, and he has his own office, and he's making, what they say, he's making $300,000 a month. I don't know.
They gassed up the numbers, I know for sure. But basically, I saw this guy, and now we're really close friends, obviously. But I saw this guy, I'm like, look, okay, whatever he's doing, I want to learn from him, And we really connected. I got really close with him, so close we ended up becoming roommates. Us 3.
Yep.
And went to his office, listened to all his calls, his text, how he would talk to people. And reality is, this guy, I can mention numbers. He was on another level when it came to closing deals virtually. I think he closed like over 60 leases in 1 month without touring a single client. I remember in his office, he was living in New Caney at the time. It was a box. It was like a 400 square foot box. He had his headset on in front of his computer. In the corner, he had his assistant with one of those divider walls so she could stay focused. And they were just like tag teaming these clients. Like, I was like, dude, this is insane. He was so busy, his mom had to bring him lunch because he wouldn't even stop to take a break to eat. And I'm like,
He's still like that. Like he'll work, and that's just like how my partner Dan is that he'll get so busy with work they'll be, oh, I forgot to eat lunch. Oh, I forgot to eat dinner.
yeah,
Me and Connor, we can't do that, you know.
nah. But anyways, now this guy, he has his own company. I have my own company now. When we started at the same company 6-7 years ago, and I quickly learned, I basically learned everything from him to start. And then obviously the way real estate works is the more you network, the more you close deals, the more you learn about interaction, psychology with clients, then you start to realize you kind of adapt and create your own formula of how to close deals effectively, efficiently. Nowadays, I'm all about protecting my time when it comes to talking with clients, or and I can't stress that enough. That's a huge point. But
Okay, so I love it. I think even though as the market changes, I know that there's one thing that you're doing incredibly well that doesn't necessarily take the biggest budget. Can you give any tips on what's your Instagram handle for your Instagram page? It's one of the largest Instagram pages in this niche.
yeah, it's Apartment Specials. You can find me on Instagram or on Facebook. That's where we post all of our specials, obviously.
And even starting out, if you don't have the largest budget, you can, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can make one of these Instagram pages, and if you really hustle, put out that content for free in 2022, right? And make really good videos almost for free? Or do you have any one or two tips on how do you get a quality Instagram page going like that stands the test of time?
Yeah, that's a great. Actually, nobody really asked me that question, which I'm glad he did. And I got started with my Instagram back in 2018. So this was before Reels were even created. Obviously, I was so focused on organic engagement, which I still am today. Nowadays, if you look on Instagram, everybody and their mother is posting some type of real estate reel or ad. So now, I feel like everyone's trying to jump on the bandwagon.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I'm not going to, say anything bad, negative or nothing, but there's a lot of new people coming out of the woodworks all of a sudden that are like, you know what, there's so much to social media. It's actually the most underrated, probably way of marketing in terms of real estate, because the reach is insane for the amount and the cost of dollars that you, if anything, that you put into marketing, so. But I guess going back to answer your question, consistency, obviously good content. What do people want? I've always said this to my team, and I continue to say this, whether it's marketing, whatever, real estate is a mental game. It's actually not even a physical game. I know people who close deals virtually across the United States, and they're no different than anyone else. They're just the way that they think. They're always thinking, what does the consumer want or attract, right? So when it comes to marketing, what do people want, right?
They want a good deal. They want a good deal, or they want a nice place, or they want...
Or it could be something specific, like floor-to-ceiling window high-rise.
Okay.
There's a certain group of people who want that. Another case is $1,000 apartment. Like, that's a big wheelhouse. A lot of our clients, if you look at the median age in Houston, or wage in Houston, it's like, what, 40, 50,000. Most people, their wheelhouse is between $1,000 to $1,200 rent. That's how much they can afford. If you do the math. So I was like, well, if you start targeting these certain type of people, and you kind of put out content for everybody, but you obviously diversify, then eventually you're going to reach all these different types of people. And from there, my audience was just continuing to grow. So from 2018 to like 2020, I think I gained maybe 30,000 followers just in like 1 to 2 years. I've ran some promotions and ads and stuff like that, like some people do, but a lot of it was just consistent growth. you know, and I've always had a marketing budget, right, when it comes to social media. I still, you know, I'll still put money into it because I know the return on it. But yeah, really these days to get started, it's free. I mean, social media is free, and quite frankly, if you're not on it, you're probably missing out, or there's another realtor out there that's grabbing the client instead of you are. So
That's powerful right there, because yeah, if you're if your friends or somebody in your sphere of influence, I'm sure you've had this as well happen as well too. Just if you're posting on social media and things like that, they'll be like, oh hey, now I remember that guy Connor, for when I need to, or his team, his Texas Realty IO team, whenever they're looking for a broker, whenever they're looking for, I guess, a property. But if you're not doing that, then you can't get butthurt like some of these agents. They're like, oh, well, my friend, they didn't use me as their real estate agent. They used somebody else, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cry, and I'm not gonna advertise or remind people that I'm a realtor, or like, get out there, huh? Yeah. So moving speeds here, Connor. I know we got a couple tips towards, becoming your own agent. And I know it's just a completely different world that you're in now, from being a top agent to even having the skills to grow a team. And so now a lot of your time spent is on growing the Texas Realty IO team and in leadership and having a great team, other than, I guess, just, following up with all the leads yourself now. What has been your biggest tips from being your own agent to now being a real estate agent to now being a broker with over 31 agents on your team? How did that look, and how did you even, come to this place?
absolutely. So I guess back things up. So the Texas Realty, for those who aren't aware, Texas Realty is actually one of my DBAs. I have a few different teams now, actually. I'm actually one of the few, I think the only person in Harris County that has a registered DBA, Texas Realty, which is pretty cool. All of my agents can use that for advertisements and stuff like that. But yeah, to sum it up, for those who don't know, actually, before I became a broker, I actually owned my own brokerage. Now, there's a big difference between owning your own brokerage or team and becoming a broker, obviously, and some might not know. I'll kind of go in depth.
Yeah.
So ever since 2018, I had my own brokerage, my own LLC company. I couldn't legally say I'm a broker, but I could say I'm, CEO, founder, owner, whatever you want to call it.
Of your brokerage. And
of
you can
my
have...
company.
Okay.
And within my company, I had myself, an agent sponsored, and I had other team members as well. I think I started with like 6 close friends, team members. So from 2018 to 2020, it was just me. It was literally just 6 people. And these are people that I trusted, most of which were just referrals or people I've known for a long time. And I built off of that. So when I became a broker in 2021, that was basically my transition point. So I guess going from agent to broker owner, I had to quickly transition. At that point, I'm like, okay, now I need to focus on actually scaling this, focus on the team, the agents, the operations. I mean, there's so much. So for those who don't know, becoming a broker, you have to be an agent for at least 4 years, and you need over 900 credit education hours. So that was obviously the hardest part, passing the test. I mean, that test is nothing like the sales exam. I get that question all the time. People are like, is it as easy as being an agent? And it's a completely different animal. Plus, now that I'm a broker, I have all the liability. So if anything were to happen under any of my teams, whether it's a lawsuit or a rebate complaint, it could be something as little as, Trek complaint, whatever. I'm obviously held responsible. So I had to get, insurance policies immediately. I had to create a brokerage manual. I had to do everything to be in compliance right off the bat. And I started to realize, obviously there's invoices, collections, there's a lot more to it. I realized I can't actively be closing deals myself and actively recruit, scale, work on marketing, work on invoices.
It's a lot.
It's too much. It's too much. So that I made a decision earlier this year. I think the beginning of the year, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to close any more deals myself. Of course, as much as I want to lead by example to my team, they know what I did last year. I did almost $300,000 by myself just in apartment leases without touring a single client.
And that was without a couple home sales and stuff, I would assume.
Oh, I think, I had a few home sales, maybe a couple wholesale deals, I think, maybe. But anyways, now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on recruiting, marketing, getting systems, processes, getting everyone up to speed. And that's how basically I went from a team of 6 to now 31 people in 7 to 8 months. So
100. Me and Connor went to Cinco Ranch High School together, and whenever Connor's at 31 now, whenever he hits 100 agents, I have a promise from him that we are going to Cinco Ranch High School, and I'm going to record him at Cinco Ranch High School giving a speech to the high school students there, and he will pitch some of them on coming to the brokerage as well.
Yep. Because that's we joke around about that, but that would be an incredible accomplishment. Imagine how many people they just turned 18 and they're a senior, and all of a sudden they want to join my brokerage. That'd be pretty cool. It's really now. So my time is just I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions.
Okay.
And it's easy to lose focus, or my phone's ringing off the hook like crazy. I can't answer calls anymore.
Looking forward, going from 31 agents to 100, what are you going to have to do with your phone blowing up? Are you going to get a personal assistant, or how are you going to, how do you think you're going to move forward to 100 agents? Do you think you have to do anything different?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have 31 agents, but I'm actually managing 36 people. So I have 2 or 3 assistants already, plus 2 or 3 more people on payroll just to handle tasks like invoicing, collections, videography, some of the content, the editing. There's a lot that really goes into it. If I could only imagine, 100 agents, right? That's a great goal. I know only a couple brokers have that many agents, out there. That would definitely, I would have to have someone in between me and the agents, to handle, common questions maybe agents have that arise. It could be about a contract. It could be about, my client said this, we're in this situation. But someone I could trust and basically say, hey, look, here's my phone. This is my new phone number. Get ready, stand by the phone. I want you to take care of my inbox as well, or at least notify me of something important.
Only contact me if it's an emergency.
And that's how I would pretty much handle it. Because right now I feel like I'm not at capacity. I could probably take on another 20 more agents, and then I would be at a capacity. But it's interesting. You learn as you go.
And there's, and I guess there's 2 different ways to do the business, and people are at different stages. But correct me if I'm wrong. There's agents that want their broker to give them leads, that you work with them and you give them leads, and there's also agents on your team that you don't give leads to, and they generate leads themselves, and maybe you help them to, hey, here's a couple pointers on how you can generate leads yourself. What does that look like? And do you recommend that the agent should be getting to the point where they're generating all the leads themselves and it's really their own business?
Absolutely. That's a big topic to touch on. So, in terms of leads, I generate thousands of leads per month, rental leads. And I give them all to my agents, or at least my top performers, people who I know would trust and take care of my leads, right? And we track performance, numbers, how many phone calls were made, messages, KPIs. We do all that, so I can see exactly, And obviously, I start off everybody fair, FYI, I know this is like a recruiting video, so Watkins Realty is an equal opportunity employer. So I start off everyone, I'll give them a few leads on a daily basis, Once you start building up your pipeline, let's say 50, 100 clients, then you start seeing the deals roll in, right? Well, I'm a tech hybrid broker, or my brokerages are designed for high volume clients. How can you be most efficient, protect your time, stuff like that. So the way I got to where I'm at, obviously I've worked, some people don't even know this, I've worked over 10,000 clients in my 6 years of real estate. And what I mean by worked is those are people that I either texted, sent them an email, or had a phone conversation with, whether they were looking for an apartment or a house or whatever. I've pretty much done everything. And I know at what capacity one agent can do on their own, because without being burnt out or overloaded or having to hire other assistants. And to be able to know that, you have to get there first, right?
Okay.
So how do you get there first is, like you said, generating your own leads. That's where you actually make the money in this business. That's how I got to where I'm at, is I found a way to generate leads, because if you generate the lead, you keep way more commission, almost all of your commission. Whereas if a broker is feeding you leads, you have to give away 40, 50, 60%.
So your agents on your team, once they've maybe got their footing, or say they're coming from another brokerage, and so your agents that maybe you're not giving leads to, they're making a higher percentage of the deal, it sounds like, or they're making more money?
So I'll talk a little bit about my team. I don't think we talked about it. So obviously I do everything right now. I have a residential team. I have an apartment locating team. We're going to be opening up an investments team here soon. Everything's in-house. We're even doing some commercial deals, believe it or not. My agents, my team is super diverse. So we have people, I'm actually the youngest out of everybody, which is crazy. And then we have people ranging from my age to, 50s, 60s. And some people have been in the industry for 10 years. Some people have been in the industry for 3 months. And obviously when I hire people and I look at what they have and the skill set and work ethic and stuff like that, values that they have to bring, I'm looking for, certain traits and stuff that, I remember when I first started how hungry I was. And I think every new agent, if you come to me or any broker and you want to get started, you need to be hungry and motivated and ready to go, whether you're getting leads or not, but aside from that, you should be generating as much as you can whenever you get started. So my team, I'm like, okay, this isn't like special treatment, like, okay, these people get these leads and these people don't. I like to start everyone off on a level playing field, because you never know in 3 to 6 months what that person's actually going to do. Some people, I like to say the term, they come out of the woodworks. I don't like to judge people, too quickly. Usually I tell people now, if you come to join my brokerage, you're going to find out in the first 3 months if this is the right fit for you.
Some people talk a real big game, and next thing you know, they're crying after their 5th phone call. Oh no, he said, don't call me again.
Dude.
Right?
So it's crazy, but people are scared to talk on the phones. That's the number one thing I see. I'm not even going to say with new agents, with people who've been in the business for years. they're still scared to talk on the phones.
Really?
And I said, look, the only difference between me and you is I've made 5,000 phone calls, probably 5,000 phone calls. I can talk to anybody, anywhere. You just give me a name, number, and just act like they're your friend.
So you think it's a contact sport? How many contacts?
100%.
How many?
Forget everything you know about real estate. You get paid based on the amount of conversations you have.
Y'all need to take some notes for that one. Yeah. I couldn't agree more for even for wholesaling or for finding deals for a fix and flip or for land investing I couldn't agree more. Like, it's very similar in those different things. And yeah, you want to work your sphere of influence and stuff, but that should be like in addition, I think, to what you're doing.
Oh yeah, you should be thinking way bigger than just friends, family, neighbors. You should be thinking, how do I actually scale this? How do I scale my business? And there's multiple different marketing strategies. I mean, I can go in depth for hours and talk about each one, but hey, maybe if you join, we can have that conversation. But yeah, I've tried everything with marketing. I mean, we've had cold callers, we've had social media marketing, SEO, Google Ads, PPC, designed a website, took about 8 months. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff, in terms of marketing, but we won't go in too depth.
Okay. Well, that sounds good, Connor. How can the people reach you? I know you said your Instagram page. What are your Instagram pages, best places to reach you, things like that?
Yeah, shoot me a DM on Instagram. My personal, it's Broker Watkins. I'm pretty good about getting back to people. It might take me a while, but or you can shoot me an email. It's connor@apartmentspecials.io. Yeah, I mean, send me your resume, or if you just want to chat, grab lunch, coffee. I'm an open book. I love meeting new people. Whether you're an investor, agent, wholesaler, it doesn't really matter. So that's what this business is all about, right?
Incredible. I love it. Any last words of wisdom for moving forward in 2022?
I would say, don't wait, start now. I think so many people, they procrastinate or they say they're going to do something. I hate it when somebody tells me they're going to do something and they don't do it, or maybe they get around to it 6 months later. Reality is, I've already started, I've already taken action, and if you expect to be on my team, I would only expect the same, right? So we're results driven, and I would like my whole team, to win and be results driven. So.
Sounds good. I want to hang out with the Texas Realty IO team sometime soon for a party or some Mexican or something. Really appreciate you coming on. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Connor.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.